There are things that I can be doing today, and there's things that are out of my control that I can keep in mind. So during this process, it doesn't have to feel like my whole life force is being sucked out of me. Hi everyone, for those who don't know me, my name is Tyanna Bui and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different where I combine a get ready with me and talk about a topic that I hold pretty near and dear to my heart, and that topic is all about the mental health issues that can happen when you're going through the job application, the job search process. To begin, the first thing that people do is getting that face ready. Something that I didn't really put on yet is the Supergoop Mineral Matte Sunscreen. I really like this sunblock. Similarly with lotion, my face breaks out so damn much when I use sunblocks as well, but for some reason when I tried this one out, I got it as a sample, and ever since using it, it really does help my face. So the next thing I'll do is clip up my bangs, my poorly self-cut curtain bangs that everyone did during pandemic, but I just keep doing it because I feel I don't want to pay money just yet to get my hair cut. I'm gonna clip that up, and the first thing I'm gonna start with is putting on some primer. So I know this isn't like the cleanest brand out there to use for your primer, but I do use the Pore Professional because it really helps to minimize my pores. And I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of my pores are right where my cheeks are, so I mainly concentrate putting it there. So I'm gonna just be putting on my concealer and my foundation now, and I use the Kosas concealer. This is like a clean beauty product, and I've been enjoying this one a lot actually. And for my foundation, use the Elia foundation. Back to my own experiences with my job hunting anxieties. I've had at least 2 different processes where I've went through job hunting, applying, and it was definitely a lot. One was after I graduated from my grad program, and the other one was when I was finding this current job that I had here. So in the beginning, it definitely was a really exciting thing because I would wake up at 6 a.m., apply to jobs, or search for jobs, do whatever I needed to do, and then go to work or do whatever I had to do during the day. And then at night when that was done, I would go back and apply more. So basically it was doing this nonstop all the time. And yeah, in the beginning it was really fun. I felt like super productive. I was like, wow, I'm getting so much done with my job stuff, and then also my actual job that I was working. But then, you know, as we all know, when you are stressed for a really long time, like that can have a really negative impact on your body. And so that's definitely something that I was dealing with. I was like stressed. I didn't make time for my friends anymore. I was not really present anytime I was hanging out with anyone, or like my family, my friends, my boyfriend. No matter who I was hanging out with, there was always this lingering thought in the back of my head of like, oh my gosh, why am I out here? I need to go back and I need to apply to jobs. But yeah, I was like stress eating, or like sometimes I would have like an extra glass of wine because y'all know that's healthy for you. But over time I was kind of gaining weight, as you can say, because if you didn't know already, the job process, and my career counselor said this too when I was in grad school, he said it takes at least 4 to 6 months for you to even get some type of offer after graduating. It actually almost took me over a year, and then for this current role that I had, it took me about 5 months in order to get the offer that I wanted. So just want you guys to know that it's not going to come quick. And so since it's not a process where it's going to come really quick, that means you can't let the stress take over your life, because it's really daunting. I went to do some yoga because I was getting back into hot yoga, and during that time I was still job hunting, job applying, and you know, when you're doing hot yoga, you're sweating your life out of you, and you're going through a lot of mental roadblocks and seeing if you can actually finish the class or not. And so when I was trying to finish the class, I remember thinking at one point, I was like, why do I have to be this stressed for? Why is this process so stressful? Like, is it me, or is it the situation, or is this how it should be? I'm definitely someone who's very introspective with how I am and how I'm reacting. And so was just questioning all these things since I had some time to clear my mind. And I realized that no, it does not need to be this way. There are things that I can be doing today, and there's things that are out of my control that I can keep in mind. So during this process, it doesn't have to feel like my whole life force is being sucked out of me. I'm gonna put it on my T-zone because I'm freaking the most oily lady in the world. Like, especially my forehead. I've had to use medication, retinol or tretinoin, whatever it's called, ever since I was in college because I used to have so many bumps all over my forehead. It was like a colony of acne, and it was honestly just so ugly. I used to like have my bangs and just use it to cover it up, but really I just needed medicine to continuously push out all these pimples I was getting, and I'm really grateful my dermatologist recommended that. But anyways, so before I forget, because I always forget this part, I need to put on my earrings. For some reason, if I don't put on my earrings while I'm doing my makeup, I literally forget it because I usually keep my hair down most of the time, and then when I look at myself I don't even see my ears most of the time. So that's why I need to remember to put it on now. And these earrings are just so cute. They're from Luisa, and these have butterflies on it. I feel like it's really cute for any occasion, have it be more professional or just going to work or just going out with some friends. It kind of gives it that really nice minimal sparkle, you can say. What I like about this too is that all the jewelry comes with its own material based bag, and yeah, it's just like a little baggie that you can put your jewelry in. And if you're familiar with how jewelry is actually packaged, it usually comes in that box, and it has that plasticky foam that's in there to have the jewelry sit on top of it. Also, really do like that this brand does its part to try to reduce plastic as much as possible. I think the only plastic on the packaging that I see when I get it is really on the back part. You know how they have that small plastic tubing to connect to the back so it doesn't, you know, fall loose or anything. But I feel like ever since I've gotten my jewelry from them, they've been really minimal in the plastic usage. Even in their packaging, beyond the jewelry bag, when you open the box, it's just those baggies and it has the jewelry in it. There's no extra fluff with secondary packaging inside, and so really do enjoy that about this brand. So I know right now they are having a buy one get one 50% off, and so if you are interested in that, then please check out my description below. But if not, then it's all good too. But yeah, since I got my earrings in now I know I'm not gonna forget it. And the next thing that I'll do is put on my bronzer, and the bronzer that I use is the Kat Von D. I've honestly had this forever, and I want to be able to switch this out with a different brand, but I mean, I gotta use it all first. Like, there's just so much to use, and so I need to make sure I use this first before switching out. And then we'll be putting on my eyeshadow. I love Kaja's little cute stackables, and so have been collecting these since it's also really travel friendly. I'll use blush from Merit. I don't know if you guys have used this yet, but I've been really loving more of the creamy blush because it blends out a lot more better on the skin. And then we'll do, like, you know, basic eyeliner and mascara, so we'll be doing that. But let me get on with the tips that I've discovered that really helped me with this job search process. So the first tip that I have to share with you guys is to not stop your life. You know, don't stop everything else in your life just because you're applying for jobs. I know when you're trying to get another job, your whole day can be consumed with just thinking about applying, updating your resume, waiting for your interview, prepping for the interview, going through that internal stress. I really just wasn't the best self that I wanted to present myself as. And when that was happening, when my friends had issues, because that's what happens when you catch up, right? When you're catching up with people, sometimes they're going through stuff and they want to vent it out and share it with you. And so when they were doing that, I honestly, they were saying one thing, it was going on my ear, going out the ear. Not that I didn't provide advice, but it was just really hard for me to internalize and be empathetic like I usually am, because my brain was just so filled and consumed with whatever I was going through. And so did allow it to take up my life, honestly. And I wasn't even singing anymore. I wasn't doing the hobbies that I enjoyed. I wasn't doing anything that filled my cup. I was just continuously emptying my cup and emptying it even though I didn't have anything left to give. So I was basically burning myself out. And so something that really helped me to not feel this way was that instead of focusing on job applying every single day, what I did was that I picked specific days that made sense to me in my schedule. And because I was picking maybe 2 to 3 times a week to focus on the job stuff, I gave myself space and allowed myself to think about other things throughout the week. Like if my designated day was Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, and it was Wednesday and I'd start thinking about jobs again, I would just be like, wait, no, that's tomorrow's thought, not today's thought. And so what do I want to do today to help fill my cup? And so when I was able to do that, just having a hat for specific days, I feel like is really helpful for me, and hope that that tip can definitely help you guys as well. So the second tip that I have to offer you guys is to do activities that fill your cup every day. And this is really important because you're probably really stressed during this time and you're continuously emptying your cup, right? Like working your full-time job while applying to another job, which also feels like a full-time job. And so making sure you're making time every single day, even if it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 hour that you have to yourself, make sure you're doing things that fill your cup and make you happy. So like for me, I know even when I only have like 5 minutes to spare, or maybe the only time that I have to myself is when I'm working out, then during that workout session I would listen to music that really helps me to release emotion, and listen to really EDM feely type of music actually really helps me to release all the stress and emotions that I'm going through. Because I don't know if you've ever been to a rave or anything, but when I used to go to those, I just feel like there's so much emotion, and so my body would kind of be in that state again, and things would just get released, and it helps me to clear my head and be more grateful for what I have. Like, I don't know why I've gone through those types of experiences, but I have. And when you do this, right, you're able to fill your cup again, you're able to release emotions and stress and tensions, and it'll allow you to have a lot more space in your head and be feeling like you're not just being totally consumed in something that's stressing you out and takes a lot out of you, but you're also doing things that make you feel a lot better and try to heal your soul and your mind. Now this next tip, I feel like it is a little bit hard to implement, but I mean, this is something that I was still trying to work on during the process, but it's to not to feel like you have the job until you get the offer. And this is a good tip in my opinion, because for me it was really saddening, honestly. Like I remember I made it to the last rounds. I was told that I did really well in my previous interviews, and the next one was just a consideration one. And so when I went into it, like, I mean, I was ready, I was answering the questions as well as I could, and I think I really did the best that I could for all those situations. But then was told that, oh, they decided to go with someone else, or maybe they're not hiring for the role anymore. So it really let my hopes up, because I was already starting to think about the next steps of my life. Like, I don't know if you guys are like that too, but I am someone who likes to think 12 steps ahead in my life, and that's an issue that I have. Trying to be more in the present moment. You never know what's going on within the company or with the team or with the hiring manager. They can just be really busy. They can maybe not have the people in line yet to interview with you yet, because as you go down the interview ladder, you start interviewing with more of the internal stakeholder teams, and so he or she needs to find those people and see if their schedule is free, or maybe, yeah, they just haven't gotten to what they want to do with you yet. And those are all valid reasons, of course. So never feel like you're gonna get the job until you get an offer. The last tip is to not forget that you are trying your best. It's not in your control when you're interviewing with people and a team. It's all really a subjective process. Even if you think you did a really good job, like, you don't really know if you did a really good job, to be honest. All you're gonna know is how well you tried, and they could have really positive or negative reviews, but then that's all on them, right? So what are the things that you can't control? You can control how you're preparing and how you should improve the materials that you're sending out. If you're someone whose resume isn't really being seen by anyone, and what I mean by that is that you're not getting any interviews and it's been like a year, then maybe you need to look to see what's in your resume, seeing if it really matches the job description, and seeing if you actually have that experience of where you want to go. You know, you can't be someone who applies with 4 years for a 10-year job requirement description. You can maybe get away with like 5 or 6 years, but I think anything beyond that might not be achievable, right? And so making sure you're doing everything that you can control is gonna help make this process a lot more smoother and help you remember that you're really just trying the best that you can do. So I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but this is kind of the look that I'd go for when I go to work and everything, because when I'm going to work, I definitely don't want to overdo it. Like, I do pretty much the bare minimum to make myself presentable, and that's mainly because it's not like people really see me too much, because a lot of the teams I work with, they're not really in the office, they're in a different location, so I'm on Zoom most of the time. But just looking presentable enough to be at work, I feel like is all I kind of care about. Yeah, this is the finished look. I know it's not much, but hope you guys enjoyed this video and are doing okay on your job search journey. I know it's really difficult and it can be super stressful, like filled with anxiety and maybe having depressed times or moments, but just know that you are trying your best, you're doing your best, you got this, and hopefully some of the tips might have helped you guys to just understand that the job process is part of your life. It shouldn't be, and it shouldn't consume the life that you're already living. So if you have any other tips, please share below. But until next time, guys, bye.